Hi friends, welcome back. Guys, in this video again I am going to talk about some elimination tricks which you can use to solve reading comprehension passages in the CSAT paper of the UPSC Prelims examination. Guys, I have been getting a lot of requests from aspirants, so please help us in reading comprehension. So what I will do in the next 15-20 days, guys, every day I will try to pick one theme and I am going to discuss my tricks which can help you score very high marks in the CSAT paper, particularly in the reading comprehension section. Because if you are weak in maths, then this is a section which you have to do well in order to qualify the cutoff marks. Let us start, guys. So what I will do is that I will take a question from the 2024 prelims examination, and then I am basically going to discuss today the direction of central message or rational message. Okay, so that is the theme today, how to identify rational message or central message of the passage. So this is the passage, guys. What we will do is that first we will read the passage, and then I am going to talk about the principles, the tricks which you should keep in mind while identifying the rational message or central message of the passage. Okay, so unlike the religion and science, the poetry does not possess or expect any belief is absolute. Okay, so basically it says what? Poetry does not believe in absolute truth. Okay, this is the simple thing. Next, those forces or individuals who claim to have absolute truth in their grasp tend to turn dictatorial and tyrannical. It says that those individuals who think that they know the absolute truth, they become dictatorial, they become tyrannical. Truth usually does not admit any contradiction or imperfection. It is Unitarian. It is therefore not of much use for poetry. What it says that truth is generally unidirectional, okay, and it does not have multiple views, because of which truth and poetry does not go together. Poetry abides by plurality of life and existence. Okay, poetry is about what? Plurality. Okay, multiple opinions, existence. Here the key word is plurality of life and existence. Perhaps poetry follows reality, which is plural, anachronistic, full of contradictions. So in real life we have contradictions, and that is what is poetry. Okay, so you can see here that against the tyranny of truth, poetry remains partition of democratic reality. Against the arrogance of power, wealth and hierarchy, poetry possesses humility and defiance. Okay, now this says that what is the most logical and rational message conveyed ever. So guys, when we read all the four options, okay, if you read option B, you can see here truth is revealed through science and religion, and poetry is anathema to truth. So this is an extreme statement, that poetry is anathema to truth. Okay, this is an extreme statement. Here what we have understood from the passage, that poetry is not concerned about the truth. Poetry is more concerned about life, and life is filled with contradictions. Life is plural. Okay, it is not saying that poetry is anathema to truth. Okay, this is very important. So extreme statements try to eliminate, so we eliminate option B. Okay, now we are left with A, C and D. Okay, now if we read option D, option D says, in a world of violence, tyranny and bigotry, poetry is a form of dynamic resistance. Is this the message of the passage? No, it is not the main message of the passage. Guys, it is something which is referred to in the passage, but it is not the main message of the passage. So always remember, okay, in the central message or message of the passage, what is the most logical message of the passage, what is the central idea of the passage, what is the central message of the passage, you have to go to the central message, not peripheral things. So this is peripheral things. Okay, this is about periphery. Okay, so this is also eliminated. This is correct, but this is eliminated. Okay, now we are left with A and C. Okay, you see C says poetry is romantic, imaginary and is about feeling, whereas science is about truth. So guys, nowhere in the passage they say that poetry is about romanticism or poetry is about imagination. It says poetry is about existence. Poetry is about plurality of life. It is not about imagination, it is about life. existence. So this statement is also wrong. So we are left with option A only, which says that it is poetry, not science, which recognizes and accepts imperfections in humans. So what is the process we have to apply? The process of the thing which you have to apply is that generally, okay, the answer will be in the first two lines only. In the first 2-3 lines, okay, idea will be there. And the second thing is try to eliminate options. Okay, try to eliminate options which are extreme. Okay, options which are extreme, try to eliminate that. Okay, and always focus on the central idea. What is the central idea of the passage? The central idea of the passage is that how poetry is different from science and religion. In terms of science talks about one truth, whereas poetry talks about multiple truths. Poetry accepts the contradictions in life. Poetry is plural, whereas science is absolute truth. Okay, that is what was the central theme of the passage. So we get the answer as option A. So what you have to do is that whenever you try to identify the central message or central idea of the passage, okay, the first 2-3 lines are very important. That is one thing. Second thing is, guys, central idea will be reflected again and again and again and again in the passage. Okay, it will be multiple time reference will be made. And third is, guys, whenever you are eliminating options, eliminate extreme words. Eliminate those statements or those options where we are putting something extra from the passage. Like for example, in option C, you see here they are talking about romantic imagination, which is not part of the passage. The passage clearly says poetry is about reality. Poetry is about existence of life. Whereas the science is about what? Science is about truth, finding the absolute truth. Religion is finding the absolute truth. Poetry does not deal with truth. Poetry is comfortable with the contradictions. Poetry accepts plurality. Okay, so this is a very important thing. So guys, keep this in mind. Always skim the first and last line of the passage and try to identify the tone of the passage. What is the main tone of the passage? Is it criticizing? Is it persuading? What is the tone of the passage? Okay, I'll always identify that, and always see which theme is getting repeated over and over again. That will be the central idea of the passage. Thank you guys. Bye bye. Take care.